Hey guys, welcome back to the Tough Love Podcast with Dr. John O'Connor. Today we're going to talk about being ready for the opportunity. What the last month has been for me has been something that I look at. I don't even know how to say it. I've been waiting my whole life for this opportunity, preparing, training, retraining. I was thinking about this today when I was, going back and forth with a text exchange with one of the top business coaches in the world and today. And I was thinking about, it brought me back to the last 8 to 10 years that I'd be sitting in the library of my house with, my notepad and going through business coach things and leadership things and, did well, did better than most, but never really truly nailed it. And for the most part, was always felt to be like not satisfied, not fulfilled, right? Just not enough. And you know what? I'm tired of playing average. I'm tired of playing to just compete. I want to play to win. And I think what I realized in going back and forth on that text exchange is that, let's just talk about the Luka and LeBron trade. Like, you want to win, you got to play with winners. And for me, I want to win. I want to build a company, a business, a brand that's so strong that if my kids wanted to work for it, they could have a career in it as good as the career that I've carved out for myself. I want that to be the legacy that I leave. And, I think that a lot of parents want that, but they fizzle out, they fade out. And, I was talking to one of my business partners today, and, he was complimenting how well I compartmentalize. But, I think that this newfound, level of commitment is all about, transformation and sticking to the plan. I want to be exceptional. I want to, help people, excel and do what their intention is. And I'll tell you what, like in my clinical practice, being so focused on coaching external practices, I am crushing my interaction with my patients, new patients. I had a patient come in today. And again, you talk about opportunities. I saw her moving around. I could see there was a neurological thing. And, I didn't ask her what was wrong with her. I shared with her immediately. When I was a kid, I was paralyzed and I had a neurological tic and clonus on the left side of my body. And it left me with some neurological scars. And immediately she then opened up and was like, I have Parkinson's or I have MS. And of course I knew she had, one of the two already. But, the reality is that she's like, wow, you look amazing. What do you do? And I laughed and I said, in my head, because I was like, there you go. Make that connection. Show compassion, show empathy, show that you were there, right? I mean, I don't walk into a room and say, hey, I was paralyzed. I'm John O'Connor. Nice to meet you. But when people are starting to quit on themselves, then I'll say in, a stern, confident, leadership-driven message, I was there once. I chose to not stay there. I use that as a vehicle, and I remind myself every day what I fight for is the independence and freedom to know that I can choose a better healthcare path. I can be better, feel better, do better. And, I think that message resonates with a lot of people. In that same message, when I'm coaching, that's how I talk to practices. That's how I talk to practice owners. I like to tell them that, I've owned multiple locations. I've seen millions of dollars come in a year, and I've also seen millions of dollars go out in a year. And I realize the importance of changing and evolving and really looking at your bottom line, looking at your numbers. I find myself staring at a lot of these, come into a dying business, TV shows, reality shows, and think, wow, there were times that from the exterior, it looked like we were doing so well. I was doing so well, and that the company was ran so poorly with, out of control overhead and no tracking of expenses and no idea what your key performance indicators were, that, failure was imminent. And, what I think I see in my future now is pointing out to people, pointing out to practice, pointing out to my clients is that those experiences, those lessons learned were hard lessons. And I think hard lessons, when you're a coach, when you're a leader, a parent, a spouse, a friend, whatever it is, for any people out there listening, co-parenting, going through divorce, going through fixing your marriage, getting married. The one message that I would say is that you must be, steadfast and consistent and learn from hard mistakes. Hard mistakes and hard lessons give you an opportunity to grow, right? And I think the big thing that I would say here today is that, if I could rattle off all the mistakes I made, some good, some bad, I probably have never, until probably this last year or so, applied them other than like pain messages, don't do that, that hurts kind of thing, to improve. And the one thing that I saw from some of these amazing business coaches, like the one I was, going back for today for our meeting on Thursday, is every step you take, everything you do should be calculated. When you're trying to advance, you're trying to elevate your level of financial success, your position in the workplace, your fitness level, you have to take these measurables. You have to look where you came from, and you have to then have a plan. And then every day you have to exact and hit those marks, and again, I keep going back to this fitness journey. I received a 14-page, interactive fluid Word document for the different phases of this competition. But really, life, business, nutrition, fitness, they should all go that way. You should have a detailed plan, whether it's a mental plan or a literal plan you write down. But the reality is then you have accountability. And then you can also see and acknowledge to yourself at the minimum the gains, the measures, the rewards of the hard work you're putting in. I think that one thing that I really, would stress in today's podcast is when you're trying to get here, but you're down here, you have to be inspired every single day. And more importantly, you have to try to be able to reach out to somebody every day and share that message, because it's amazing when you're doing that. You're inspiring the person that's on the other end of the call or the other end of the conversation, whether you're face to face or, texting or otherwise, to also challenge themselves. And then it becomes contagious, right? I think a lot of times for me, I always thought I was going it alone, but there's so many people out there that are picking journeys, challenges. I think we're in a world right today that everybody does a fit, whether it's High Rocks or a CrossFit event or a marathon or, a water challenge. Everything's a challenge because we need to have that as like the human condition. There are, I would say there's a small percentage of people that are individually razor and laser sharp focused. And then the majority needs to be in the masses. They need to be in that, feel good tribe, motivated to go up and work out. One of the gyms I'm going to right now in Red Bank, actually just did a podcast with the GM last week, Alex Aramiento, Lifetime. He's a perfect example of that, or even the Ford Athletic Club, their bunker classes, those people go there. I think regardless of the gym, whether they were formerly at Carbone's or wherever they came from, because of the camaraderie, they push each other. They genuinely want to see each other, elevate their physical performance. And that motivates the person that's getting excited for the person they're working out with to keep pushing themselves harder. That's what it's all about. That today, is what I look at, and, why I was so excited to pick the new business training system to get involved with people and, remarkable leaders and motivators like an Andy Elliott, is to absolutely elevate my ability to converse, my ability to communicate, my ability to lead others. And, whatever time I have left on this planet, my job as I see it is to inspire, motivate, educate, and help people, just skyrocket themselves into a level of success that they never envisioned for themselves. I want that for them and I want that for me. And, and if I can do that at a high level, every single day, which I know that my consistency is something that I don't question. I think with the right mentorship, the right leadership, and the right technology behind me, I think we can drive that into a skyrocketing, ridiculously successful business. So again, today the message is clear. If you want to do something, you want to be something, you want to change your current situation, you have to look inside yourself. Today's podcast is about staring at the man in the mirror and saying, or the woman in the mirror, am I happy? Am I where I want to be? Could I be working harder? Are the people around me supporting my goal, my why? And, if they're not, you got to make hard decisions. And if they are, then you have to do the next thing that comes in line is work that plan. Work with them, work together, lock arms, dig in. And, this is when you're going to see amazing things happen. For me, I'm not going to lie, I reached out. I was like, you know what? I've been battling for a long time. And, I feel like if I was a baseball player, it's like warning track power. I keep thinking I crushed it and my ball keeps getting caught at the fence. And I need a power coach. I need a person that's going to teach me to turn my hips, to follow through on my swing and get me an extra 20 feet, extra 100 feet. So I leave no doubt. I knock it out of the park. I hit a home run and then I do it and I can duplicate it. I can do it over and over and over again. And then the true gift of leadership is that I teach, inspire, and motivate others to do the same thing. I give back. I pay it forward for the person that pulled me ahead, pulled me out of wherever I am, pulled myself into a level that I find that I've been looking for my entire adult life. And that's my goal. And I think that a lot of us, if we took that look in the mirror, that deep, long look in the mirror, they'd say the same thing. And so today's all about focus, reflection. Look in the mirror. Are you where you want to be? If you're not, get a plan on paper. Right? There's so many leadership coaches out there. There's so many business coaches. There's so many fitness coaches. There's so many people out there that have the ability to help shape, what's the word I'm looking for? Create, help, and, foster and build out your dream. And of course, emphasis on yours, right? It's yours. It's yours to take as high as you want. It's yours to reach for the sky. It's yours for you to say, I've gotten to the mountain. I've got to the top of the mountain. And these are all things that I'm aspiring to do. And I'm beyond blessed to have the people alongside me. So today's about, there is no limits, only limits you set on yourself. It's about going out there and finding people that inspire you, finding people you could learn from, reaching out, and if it's investing in yourself to get better, by all means do it. In a time where I shouldn't be spending, I dug deep and I was like, listen, I need a mentor, I need a coach, I need a focused person that's going to keep me locked in, whether it's, an Andy Frisella doing 75 hard or a 90-day program with Andy Elliott or any of these monsters that are out there. I knew that I needed to begin something. I needed to not procrastinate. I needed to execute at the highest level that I've ever personally done. And you know what? A year from now, and I said it in January, and I'm crushing February. A year from now, I want to look back and say, I am teaching hundreds or thousands of people to do exactly what I'm doing right now. So guys, thank you so much. I hope to inspire you with today's podcast. Keep going, keep pushing, keep motivating yourself, keep digging deeper. The only limits you have are the limits you set on yourself. We'll see you again soon. Thank you and God bless.